have you gone about preparing the team this week on such short notice?
Like I would prepare for any game that I play. Watch the opponent, try and find strengths and weaknesses of the opponent and how we can counteract that. Mixed with that, looking at our group and seeing what our strengths are and how we can cause the opponent problems. Then trying to help them with the lack of confidence that maybe they've been suffering, because it's hard when you're losing games of football. That's the gist of it, really.
Last time you were part of the team that was in interim charge, you were here for a while longer than probably most expected. What have you been told this time around?
What I've been told is I'll be taking the game this weekend. The likelihood is it'll be one week only. But you never know in football. Last time we were told it could be a week, it could be two. It ended up being about 6. So I think my focus is on the team. My focus is on our week's work. When you're playing a team like Chelsea, you can't be thinking about other things. That's when my focus, sort of morning, noon and night this week. The rest of it is for other people to sort out.
How difficult is that, considering you've got an international break as well after this? So do you prepare the first team that's here? Do you sort of work for the next game? How's that going to work?
At this point, we work for Chelsea, and then after Chelsea, we'll deal with what's after that. At that point, I imagine there'll be a new manager coming in. If not, we'll work with the players over the international break until we're told not to.
How confident are you that things could turn around?
Very. I think there's, I said to the players on the first day, I think when you're in it, you feel like you listen to the outside noise. There's 28 games to go, nearly 90 points to play for. And if you listen to everybody out there, Wolves are down. I don't see it that way. I think put some results together, put some performances together. You need a bit of luck along the way as well at places like Chelsea, of course you do. But I think there's a lot of time left and a lot of points to play for. And that was what the message we delivered to the players this week is. It starts now, 28 games to go. Let's get some points.
Right, James. Can I start with team news, please? How are you looking?
Yeah, you won't get the team, but I can give you team news. We've got a couple of injuries. Doc's injured and Rodrigo out this week. And Agba's obviously got sent off last week, so he's missing. The rest are fully available. We might get a couple of the young boys of my group around the squad as well, that I think are capable of being around it. And we'll make the decision from there.
When you and Steve were in charge last time, you gave Joe Hodge his debut, and like you just mentioned there, you obviously know the under-21s really well. Who of that group is emerging and is ready to step in? Because we haven't really seen that early part of the season, perhaps because of the situation the club are in.
Yeah, I think it's difficult as a first-team manager in the Premier League to throw kids in when you're losing games. It's difficult. It's a little bit easier for me because I come from them. I know them. I trust them, and I know them really well. Tawanda Pereira, Mateus Mane, Enzo Gonzalez have been with me all this season, and I think are good enough for first-team football, possibly Premier League football. Now, you'll not know until they get an opportunity. Whether tomorrow's the right opportunity for them, who knows? But they are not far off this group. I watch the first team group all week, and then players are more than capable of competing with them. So whether it's me or whether it's the new manager that comes in, they will add real value to the club.
You said in your first answer about rebuilding confidence. How have you gone about that?
Talking to the players, really. You need to. We felt it was important to find out what they felt was going wrong, why they felt they weren't getting enough points. Because there's no doubt we haven't got as many points as we probably should, and that can't be a coincidence. So we spoke to the players, got around the group, found out what they felt they've been missing in training, tried to add some of that, and then also talk to them about their mindset going into games, the fundamentals, the basics. You have to rebuild from scratch, work harder than the opponent, compete for second balls, etc., etc., etc. So that's the starting point, and then you build. You get something, and then you build from there.
Have you got a strong view on the formation? Because we've seen a couple of different systems this season, and I guess the under-21s and the academy try, if they can, and sort of mirror the first team. So how do you see it?
That would be the one thing at this club at the moment we haven't quite got. When Nuno was here, when I first came here, it was clear this is how we play. And over the year, Gary was the same. He tinkered a bit, but had a real clear picture of how he wanted to play the game. This group probably have been tinkered and changed around that much that there isn't that rhythm and that continuity of a shape. That will be the the new manager's job to do to decide what he thinks the best setup for this group is. Probably add to it in January, what he thinks is missing, and then again build from there.
It was Chelsea first game last time. It's Chelsea again, world champions. What does the mentality need to be from yourself and also the group?
They are a fabulous football team. You know, watching them all this week in several games. Obviously, they're well coached, well organised, with top players. It's not a bad mix to have. Away from home, it's a real tough ask for us to go, for anybody to go there and win the game. But it happens. Sunderland won there this year, and it's what an opportunity it is to start there and build something. You know, people keep saying to me it's a free hit. I'm not sure it's a free hit. We don't want to waste a game. It might be a point. It might be a winner. Who knows? But we've got to try and get something there, and we've got to be brave enough to go there and give it a right go. Now, win or lose the game, we have to start from somewhere. And there's been a clean slate this week, obviously with the manager going, and we have to start now.
You're an experienced coach and a highly qualified coach. How have you found this week on a personal level?
No different than any other week, in truth, other than the fact that it's a level up. As you say, I've been coaching a long time, for 30 years almost. I'm used to coaching, I'm used to preparing teams for games, I'm used to trying to find faults in opponents and weaknesses and strengths, and this week has been no different. We've planned the week, myself and Rich and Sharpsy, my assistant in the 21s, we've planned the week how we would plan if we were taking on Aston Villa for the under-21s at the weekend. Now obviously you're dealing with a higher profile of player, but they're no different. They want help, they want guidance, they want organisation, and that's what we hopefully will give them.
Just finally, can I ask for a word on Vitor and his staff, who you'll have known since they came in and said their goodbyes earlier in the week. Enjoyed an amazing spell at the end of last season, but obviously didn't go so well this season.
Vitor and his staff were brilliant with me. They welcomed us to watch training, they welcomed us to be around it, they welcomed us into meetings. They were enthusiastic about the under-21s and trying to get a player through, so I can't speak highly enough of them. They were brilliant people and good coaches. Sometimes in football, it's dictated to by results, and in the end, if you keep losing, you lose your job. They understand that, but what they were is, they did their job really diligently. They were great people, and they treated me with great respect, and I wish them well.
Good luck this weekend.
Cheers.
Hello, James. When you had the conversation with the players and asking them what their sort of view of what's happened was, did they respond well to that? And I imagine that everybody's different. They all respond slightly differently.
Of course, they've all got different opinions, but what you get is there'll be a theme running through things of what they feel has been missing. Now, don't get me wrong, they don't run the lunatics don't run the asylum, if you like, but they will say what they think, and then you have to take the bits from that you think need adding. Obviously, I will also speak to coaching staff, support staff. They all add an opinion. Then you put all that in the melting pot and decide. You can't do everything in a week. You try and make sure that these 3 or 4 main principles are added to their week, whether that's more organisation to the training, whether that's more meetings, less meetings, whatever that may be. That's what we've done this week.
That sounds like it can be a constructive process if you do that.
Yeah, well, that's the hope. What we were determined not to do is it's not a week's holiday and then a new manager comes in. We had to make sure that we prepare properly for the game this weekend. It's a Premier League game that can be won. That was the message to the players. They've responded brilliantly. They've been unbelievably receptive to what we've done with them, and hopefully that you'll see some of that on Saturday.
And obviously you've been through this before, as we were just saying a few moments ago. So are you also feeling some sort of responsibility to pass things on and prepare things for whoever it is that's sitting where you are?
Yeah, I think so. I think that we all have professional pride in what we do. I know coaches, and I want the players and the coaches and the coaching come in to see that we're well organised, to see that we have a plan, to see that we prepared them properly this week, and that's been the plan. And we've worked, as I say, morning, noon and night to try and do that this week, and hopefully that'll reap its rewards.
And you've seen a few now come and go over the last few years, which is what happens at football clubs. From you as a coach, are you able to look at them working while they're here and say, well, that's interesting, that's useful, I can add that from, because it's been quite a range of different people.
That's, if not the best thing about the job. There's been some top managers here while I've been here, and they all done things slightly different, and you be yourself, but you try and take little bits from different people. I remember I came here from Crewe originally. We were a very attacking, in possession based team, and watched Nuno for however many months and thought, wow, this is unbelievable how he gets the team prepared and in a block or whatever it may be. So you're learning all the time. Learn different things off all the different managers. Gary was so detailed in what he did, and so you pick things up and hopefully you take some and you take what you want to take and not what you don't.